Now batting for the Yankees, number 2, Derek Jeter.
Swung on, and there it goes. Deep left field. It is high. It is far. It is gone.
Play Jeter on the run, makes the play. Wow. And flies into the stands. Oh, what a play by Derek Jeter.
Toward the hole, Jeter backhands from the outfield grass.
The captain.
The throw misses a cutoff man. Shot into the plate. Out of the plate. Derek Jeter with one of the most unbelievable plays you will ever see by a shortstop.
Mr. November.
And the 3-2 pitch. Swung on a drill to right field. Going back Sanders on the track at the wall. See ya! See ya! See ya! A game-winning walk-off home run by Derek Jeter.
Number 2. Derek Sanderson Jeter. The New York Yankees are as iconic a franchise as exists in North American sports. A history dominated by names like Ruth, DiMaggio, Gehrig, and Mantle. But for baseball fans of more modern times, no name says Yankees quite like Jeter. From his beginnings across the river in New Jersey, to his Hall of Fame career as a Bronx Bomber, and now a baseball executive, this is the story behind Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter was born in New Jersey to Sanderson Charles and Dorothy Jeter, who met while serving in the U.S. Army. The Jeters moved to Kalamazoo, Michigan when Derek was 5, but he spent his summers with his grandparents back in Jersey, where his love affair with the Yankees began. Young Derek would accompany his grandparents to games at Yankee Stadium, where he became a passionate fan of both the Yankees and future Hall of Famer Dave Winfield, whose play inspired Jeter's big league dreams. He began playing Little League ball at 5, but truly broke out as a future star at Kalamazoo Central High School, where he hit for a 500-plus average in each of his final 3 seasons. As a senior, Jeter posted an OPS of 1468, while striking out just once the entire year, leading to multiple National Player of the Year awards. Though he was also an honorable mention on Michigan's All-State basketball team, it was clear baseball would be Jeter's athletic meal ticket, and he received a scholarship from the University of Michigan. The 18-year-old was also a top prospect in the 1992 MLB draft. Astros scout and Hall of Fame player Hal Newhouser wanted Houston to take Jeter with the number 1 overall pick, and was so disappointed when the Astros selected Phil Nevin that he quit. The Astros and other teams at the top of the 92 draft reportedly worried Jeter would want a $1 million plus signing bonus to skip college, so Jeter fell to number 6 and his boyhood team. Though some within the Yankees also feared Jeter's college offer made the majors a tougher sell, Yanks scout Dick Grotch, who was enamored with Jeter, famously quipped, "The only place Derek Jeter's going is to Cooperstown." The Yankees and Jeter agreed on an $800,000 signing bonus, and the Kalamazoo kid officially turned pro. The midseason transition from high school phenom to Yankees prospect wasn't a smooth one though. Jeter began his pro career with an 0-for-7, 5-strikeout performance for the Gulf Coast Yankees, finishing his first season in New York system batting .202 before hitting .243 in 11 games of A-ball with the Greensboro Hornets, where Andy Pettitte and Jorge Posada were stationed.
I hated last year. Last year was terrible for me. Rookie league was terrible. I was homesick. I wasn't playing good. It was just as bad as it could get.
With a full season of pro baseball to work with in 1993, however, Jeter began to look like the prospect Newhouser, Grotch, and so many other scouts envisioned. The 19-year-old hit .295 for Greensboro that year, with Class A South Atlantic League managers naming him the league's most outstanding major league prospect. In a foreshadowing of the polarizing defensive reputation that would follow Jeter his entire career, he also won the SAL's Best Defensive Shortstop Award in '93, despite committing a league record 56 errors. Jeter climbed from 44th to 16th in Baseball America's top prospects list, then jumped all the way to 4th after a prolific 1994 season in the Florida State League. Though he began the 1995 season in AAA after the Yankees had signed Tony Fernandez for some veteran insurance at shortstop, Jeter made his big league debut in late May of that season, suiting up for 15 games, often batting 9th in New York's lineup.
Here's the kid, Derek Jeter, hunting for his first major league hit. and sends a base hit into left, and now put that ball back in the Yankee dugout. Derek Jeter, after going 0 for 6, finally has his first Major League hit.
Joe Torre had Jeter slotted in as his starting shortstop for the '96 season, but team owner George Steinbrenner was unconvinced, so much so that the impulsive boss was ready to trade young pitcher Mariano Rivera, who'd go on to become the greatest closer of all time, to Seattle for journeyman infielder Felix Fermin, before then VP of Scouting Gene Michael and then Assistant GM Brian Cashman talked Steinbrenner out of it. Jeter rewarded the Yankees' faith immediately, batting .314 while suiting up in 157 games for an AL East winning team, earning Rookie of the Year in the process. Jeter had become the team's leadoff hitter by the time the playoffs rolled around, and it didn't take long for him to record the first of his many iconic postseason moments.
In right field, Tarasco going back to the track, to the wall. And what happens here? He contends that a fan reaches up and touches it. But Richie Garcia says no, it's a home run. Here comes Davey Johnson out to argue as Jeter comes across to tie the game.
That controversial homer led the Yanks to a Game 1 win, an eventual series win over Baltimore in the ALCS, en route to the team's first World Series title in 18 years.
Chance to the left side. Hayes waits. The Yankees are champions of baseball.
Getting to the mountaintop in his first full season made for some internal expectations that would be impossible to live up to.
Because we won my first year. So is getting back to the World Series successful? It's not successful. You got to win or it's a failure. I've said it before, the worst phrase in all the sports is get them next year. That is 12 months away. After we won in '96, I felt as though every year we did not win, it was a failure. I still feel that way today.
Jeter certainly tried though, and his reputation continued to grow, both on and off the field as the 90s rolled on. Beginning with the 1997 season, Jeter embarked on a run of excellence that led to MVP votes in 10 of his next 11 seasons and 12 of his next 16. His first All-Star appearance in 1998 was part of a historic season in New York, as the Yankees won 114 games and captured their second championship in 3 seasons. Jeter's finest season came in 1999, as he led the majors in hits to power the defending champs through another dominant campaign that saw the Yanks go 11-2 in the postseason, en route to a World Series repeat.
Ball game over. World Series over. Yankees win.
Jeter hit .349 with a .989 OPS that season, and over the course of New York's 3 straight championship seasons between 1998 and 2000, he slashed .337, .413, .505. In 2000, he became the first All-Star Game MVP in the Yankees' storied history, and became the first player in Major League history to win World Series MVP and All-Star Game MVP in the same season. Following the three-peat, Jeter signed a 10-year, $189 million contract that ranked second in all of pro sports at the time, trailing only the deal that friend Alex Rodriguez had signed in Texas. After another All-Star campaign and top 10 MVP finish in 2001, Jeter's Yankees fell short of a 4th straight title when they lost in 7 games to the Diamondbacks. But Jeter's heroics en route to the 2001 World Series are what stand out about that postseason. First, there was the flip in the ALDS against the A's, with the Yankees facing elimination in Oakland.
Down the right field line. Giambi on his way to third, and they're going to wave him around. The throw misses a cutoff man, shot into the plate, out of the plate. Derek Jeter with one of the most unbelievable plays you will ever see by a shortstop.
A couple weeks later, with Game 4 of the World Series headed to extra innings, the Yankees and Diamondbacks found themselves playing in the first Major League game to be played in November, after the September 11th terrorist attacks had pushed back the end of the 2001 season. With the Yankees trailing the series 2-1, Jeter's flair for dramatics once again took center stage, earning him a new nickname to rival that of the iconic Reggie Jackson.
And the 3-2 pitch. Swung on a drill to right field. Going back Sanders on the track at the wall. See ya! See ya! See ya! Oh, what a ball game! A game-winning walk-off home run by Derek Jeter. He is Mr. November. Oh, what a...
Despite his continued heroics, it wasn't all roses for Jeter and the Yankees, as Steinbrenner questioned how Jeter's reported late nights and bachelor lifestyle might be impacting his focus and performance. In 2003, Steinbrenner did make Jeter the Yankees' first captain since Don Mattingly had retired though, and the pair even mocked their feud in a future Visa commercial.
Come on in, Derek. I thought we discussed this thing and had it all worked out. You're our starting shortstop. How can you possibly afford to spend 2 nights dancing, 2 nights eating out, and 3 nights just carousing with your friends? Oh.
The 2003 season was a roller coaster for Jeter and the Yankees, as the star shortstop dislocated his shoulder in the season opener, came back swinging a hot bat to save New York's season and send the Yanks back to the World Series, but ultimately came up short against the Marlins thanks in part to a Game 6 error by Jeter. Over a 17-season run between 1996 and 2012, 2003 was the only season Jeter failed to appear in at least 130 games, as the once inevitable Yankees star dealt with on-field vulnerability for what felt like the first time.
Move over Tiger Woods. There's a new name dominating sports headlines all across the country. He is Alex Rodriguez, A-Rod for short, and baseball's reigning American League MVP is now playing for the New York Yankees, the team many love to love and others love to hate.
The Yankees continued to spend their way to the top, however, trading for A-Rod and his massive contract before the 2004 season. The move made New York better on the field, but also brought some uncomfortable questions for Jeter, who would be staying at shortstop despite the team trading for a better shortstop, and who would have to deal with rumors of his falling out with Rodriguez. Jeter and A-Rod were once so close they crashed at each other's houses when the Yankees would play the Mariners, but as the years went on, their very different personalities seemed to clash. And in a 2001 Esquire profile, Rodriguez said that Jeter never had to lead a team because of the great talent New York surrounded him with. In any event, the two stars would mostly make it work on the field, filling the left side of the Yankees infield.
He loops that to left field, going to be a tough play. Jeter on the run, makes the play, and flies into the stands. Oh, what a play by Derek Jeter. Wow, Jeter really banged himself up.
I think he caught you could see the redness in his face. He caught the bar of that box. What a play. Oh, my goodness.
Critics often point to that catch, now known simply as the dive, for fueling Jeter's first Gold Glove win at shortstop in 2004, despite defensive metrics that weren't blowing anyone away. Regardless, Jeter put together another All-Star season, the A-Rod-led Yankees won 101 games, and found themselves up 3-0 on the Red Sox in the 2004 ALCS, before disaster struck.
1918 season. Here it is, ground ball to second. Reese, the Boston Red Sox have won the pennant. With the biggest comeback in postseason baseball history.
After winning 4 championships in his first 5 full seasons, Jeter and the Yankees had suddenly hit a dry spell, losing a couple World Series before blowing a 3-0 series lead to their hated rivals in an ALCS. Jeter continued to make All-Star teams and win controversial Gold Gloves while batting .300, and the Yankees continued to win in the regular season. But between the 2005 through 2007 seasons, the team didn't win a single playoff series. Things would get worse in 2008, when the 89-win Yanks failed to even make the postseason. If you just look at the 18 full seasons Jeter played as part of his 20-year career, that 2008 season and his final season in 2014 are the only times Jeter's Yankees missed the playoffs. Making matters worse, 2008 marked the final year in Old Yankee Stadium.
And although things are going to change next year, we're going to move across the street. There are a few things with the New York Yankees that never change. That's pride, it's tradition, and most of all, we have the greatest fans in the world.
In new Yankee Stadium, Jeter and the Yanks rewarded those fans in 2009, restoring Yankee pride as part of a 103-win World Series season that would mark the last triumph of Jeter's career, and that still stands as the last of the Yankees' 27 championships.
Second baseman Cano, the Yankees are back on top.
world champions for the 27th time.
The 27th World Series championship in Yankees.
Though he began to show signs of aging as the odds turned to the 2010s, and he never got a 6th championship ring, Jeter remained a fixture in the Yankees lineup, at shortstop, in the postseason, and in All-Star games. In 2010, he won another Gold Glove. In 2011, though battling various injuries, Jeter broke the 3,000 hit barrier and set a new mark for most games played as a Yankee.
It's the 3-2. That one's drilled deep to left field. Going back, Joyce, looking up. See ya! 3,000. History with an exclamation point. Oh, what a way to join the 3,000 hit club. Derek Jeter has done it in grand style.
In 2012, at the age of 38, Jeter led the majors in hits again, won the last of his 5 Silver Slugger awards, and finished top 7 in AL MVP voting, as the Yankees advanced to the ALCS before being swept by the Tigers. Jeter fractured his left ankle reaching for a ground ball in Game 1 of that series after playing through a bone bruise in his left foot during the latter stages of the season. Further ankle, quad, and calf issues limited him to just 17 games in 2013 after what had been an inspiring, age-defying season in 2012. Jeter made it known that his age 40 season in 2014 would be his last, kicking off the type of retirement tour basketball fans remember Kobe Bryant's farewell season for a couple years later. Rival teams honored and gifted him throughout the season during Yankees road games, and he even got a standing ovation from Red Sox fans to close out a stellar career that often saw his Yanks get the better of Boston.
And that is going to be it for Derek Jeter. His final hit, an RBI single, as Jeter says goodbye to baseball. And baseball says goodbye to him.
Jeter chose to DH in that final series in Boston so that his last game at shortstop would be recorded at Yankee Stadium. During that final season, Jeter broke the Major League record for most career starts at shortstop, and former Commissioner Bud Selig made him just the 15th player in history to receive the Commissioner's Historic Achievement Award. In typical Jeter fashion, though his body and bat had started to fail him, he summoned one last bit of Jeter magic in his final home game and final at-bat in front of the Yankees faithful.
Meek deals. Base hit to right field. Here comes Richardson. Here's the throw from Markakis. Richardson is safe. Derek Jeter ends his final game with a walk-off single. Derek Jeter, where fantasy becomes reality. Did you have any doubt?
The end of Jeter's career also gave us one of the great sports commercials ever. Perhaps the most famous tip of the cap for Jeter during that farewell season came from his nephew, who went viral again years later at Jeter's 2021 Hall of Fame induction. Oh yeah, as if there was any doubt, Dick Grotch was ultimately proven right a couple decades later. The only place Derek Jeter was going was Cooperstown. Jeter also launched the Players Tribune at the conclusion of his career, the first of many post-career ventures, which eventually led to a 4% stake in and CEO title with the Miami Marlins. Jeter's off-field life always fascinated us, fans, media, and tabloids alike, whether it was the late nights Steinbrenner took issue with, or his relationships with models and entertainers like Mariah Carey. Jeter's now married to model Hannah Davis. The couple have 2 children. His personal life was always the stuff of legend and intrigue, but perhaps most so because you could never crack him. He was as unflinching in the media as he was at the plate in a big moment. He had the same competitive fire other great athletes of his generation did, but he didn't feel the need to always show it, and he didn't burden himself with the same off-field drama or scandal. He was the captain in every way, at once the ultimate New Yorker, and yet quietly unassuming in ways New York City is not, though some of his cameos in the entertainment world will live on.
Want to talk about hotels? You want to win some ball games?
Hey, we won the World Series.
In 6 games.
Shoot, I'll do it!
deaf? You hear me yell freeze? You dick! I'm Derek Jeter, you shot me!
Most of all though, what Derek Jeter will be remembered for is his consistent excellence while donning one of the most famous uniforms in all of sports. 14 All-Star appearances, 8 top 10 MVP finishes, 5 Gold Gloves, and 5 Silver Slugger awards. He won 5 World Series and appeared in the playoffs 16 times in a league where for the majority of his career, only 8 of 30 teams made it every year. He accumulated 3,465 hits in 2,747 games, posted a career batting average of .310, and was a career .321 hitter in 38 World Series games. He hit 300 or better in 12 different seasons, and stole 20-plus bases in a season 8 times. For fans of a certain generation, no matter who you rooted for, Derek Jeter was as present, familiar, and inevitable as any baseball star of his time.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button.